Hi everyone, welcome back to Facebook Live. I'm hoping I'm right side up. We're trying a different device this time. Let's see. It is Cinco de Mayo and I have been drinking margarita, so it's fine. Let's see if I can hopefully find out if I'm right side up this time pretty quickly. Oh, I think I'm good. I got the thumbs up from Amy. All right, everybody, thanks again. Welcome to Facebook Live. I think this is becoming my thing. You know, I think I'm gonna come on first, like upside down and then sideways and then do it again. It's just gonna be my little shtick. I'm Gerianne Cygan. I'm the co-founder of The Exercise Coach, and I'm the author of The Exercise Coach Nutrition Playbook. And tonight, we are celebrating Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo. So, Cinco de Mayo actually commemorates the 1862 Battle of Puebla. It's the Mexican Army's victory over France. So, it's really not a major holiday at all in Mexico. In fact, it's not a federal holiday. They don't celebrate it. People in the United States somehow are under the belief system that it's Mexican Independence Day. It's not, that's in September. But for some reason, it's become a huge celebration for Americans to be able to drink tequila and eat Mexican food. Well, leave it to Americans to find a good reason to do all that. Let's not let a good Cinco de Mayo go to waste. I found that most people really like Mexican food, but so many continue to buy pre-packaged Mexican salsas and guacamole, and you know, I really never understand why, because it's so darn easy to make it yourself, and by far it tastes so much better. So I will tell you, I have tested out my recipes on many a good Mexican cook, and I've always gotten a thumbs up. So I'm not afraid to share these on Cinco de Mayo, being that I myself am not Mexican. And what's really cool about what I'm gonna share is that these dishes are whole food preparations, which is what we at The Exercise Coach like to eat. We're gonna make today salsa, guacamole, and we're gonna make a healthy version of nachos. We published the ingredients already on Facebook, and I know as we go along, Amy will post the recipes in the actual comments as well. So feel free at any point along the way to comment and ask questions. I've got my computer here, so I've got Amy giving me some questions or comments that you guys might be all saying to me while I'm back here ready to do some cooking. So maybe you'll try it along with me if you've purchased the ingredients today, or maybe you'll just give it a try tomorrow for dinner or for a snack. But first of all, before we go and start, cheers. Okay, that's so good. We are gonna start the evening with good cheer. That's important. And to do that, we have a tasty, fresh fruit, actually frozen fruit. You could make it with fresh fruit. I've made it with frozen fruit, margarita. So, okay, if you don't add the tequila, it's technically a fruit smoothie. I get that, but let's just pretend for tonight. Of course, if you do add in the tequila, well, then it's a delicious homemade fruit margarita. Drink up, I'll never tell. Okay, so to make this, it's super simple. All you do is have your blender, and you're gonna add a handful of your favorite frozen fruit. I used strawberries and raspberries tonight. Whatever you have on hand is gonna make a great tasting margarita. In your blender, you're gonna put the frozen fruit, you're gonna add about 1/4 cup of orange juice, you're gonna squeeze a whole lime in there, and then you're going to add a little bit of water depending upon the consistency that you like. And so you're gonna blend it up once you have it all in there, and it's gonna taste delicious. If you need it to be a little thicker consistency, you can always add in a little bit of ice, or if you like it to be thinner, just add a little bit more water. Now, one other thing, depending upon the fruit that you choose, you might want to choose to add it to get it a little bit sweeter. Like I used raspberries, which have a real sour flavor, and then the lime. And so I added in a little monk fruit sweetener into the blender to give it a little more sweetness. Another thing you could do, add a banana. Make it a strawberry banana margarita. That will sweeten it up as well. It'll be delicious. So again, cheers. Okay, so what we're gonna do tonight is we're gonna start out by making salsa. I'm gonna just turn this down a little bit. Okay. Okay, we are gonna start out by making salsa. So there's a little story behind this. It's kind of funny. Many years ago, my sister worked at this little diner, and it was owned by a Mexican couple. It was called the Chicken House because they did specialize in this thing called roasted chicken. Well, they were a Mexican couple, so in addition to the Chicken House food, they made Mexican recipes as well, and they were delicious. And so this particular recipe is the salsa that they used at that restaurant and that my whole family has used ever since. It's just so delicious. It's so easy, you'll see, but it's so delicious that it doesn't really make sense to go out and buy a jar of salsa. I kind of call it my pantry salsa because much of what you can make is in your pantry probably or in your fridge on a normal basis. Okay, so here's how we make the salsa. We need a blender. Okay, what I'm gonna do is add 1 can of Rotel tomatoes. Now the good thing about Rotel tomatoes, I'm using mild right now. You can use medium or you can use the hot Rotel tomatoes. So it's great because you can make it to the heat that you like in your salsa. You're just gonna dump in the 1 can. Next, you're gonna add in 1 can of diced tomatoes. Now again, you know I recommend that you buy organic tomatoes. We're gonna add that in our blender. Okay, next, we are gonna add in 1/4 of a red onion. And I've already cut that 1/4 of a red onion up. You don't have to cut it pretty because you're gonna blend it to oblivion anyway. So nothing pretty. Just dump it on in, red onion. Next thing is going to be cumin. I love using cumin. I cook with it a lot. And so all you're gonna add in here is about 1 teaspoon of cumin to 1.5 teaspoons. If you like the flavor, which I do, I add just a little bit more. Next, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Put that right in our blender. Okay, cilantro. This salsa is really dependent upon a good cilantro taste, so we're just gonna take a big bunch of it and we're gonna put it right inside the blender. Okay, the next ingredient is going to be a lime. So you're gonna take your lime, you're gonna cut it in half, and you're gonna squeeze each half into your blender. There we go. Okay, sea salt, very important. And again, you're gonna salt to taste, but I'm telling you at this point in time to use about 1 teaspoon of salt. And then after you make it, you can taste it and see if you need to add any more salt. And when I say red onion, this is what a red onion looks like. If you don't have a red onion, you absolutely can use a white onion or a yellow onion. It doesn't matter that much. I just happen to like the flavor of the red onion the best. So then what I'm gonna do is, I've actually just cut up some fresh tomatoes because I had some on hand. If I don't have them on hand, I don't use them, and it doesn't make that big of a difference. But if I have some fresh ingredients on hand, I like to throw them in as well. So I'm gonna throw in the fresh tomatoes, and it doesn't matter how much you use. Okay, so that, I believe, is all of my ingredients. Yeah, all we do is we put the lid on, and we blend it up. Okay, here we go. And that's it. You're only blending for a very short period of time because you don't want it to be completely liquidy. And this is it. Pour it out in your bowl. And you've got very quick. You saw how quick that was. Very easy, but I'm telling you, very delicious salsa. Now, typically, salsa is served with corn chips, and certainly you can do that. That's perfectly fine. If you're not on a metabolic comeback challenge, or if you're doing okay on your carbs, go ahead and indulge in those corn chips once in a while, right? But just be sure to buy organic corn chips so that they're not genetically modified. Corn is one of the most genetically modified ingredients we have, and so by buying organic, you're assured that it's not genetically modified. So another great chip option is this little baby, this plantain chip, and we're going to use this plantain chip later on with our nachos. It's very crispy, it has a great flavor to it, like kind of a little nutty flavor to it, and so it makes a great little dipper. Doesn't need more salt, it's good. Another great way to serve salsa is with carrot sticks or any other raw vegetable. We have to remember that salsa is really a condiment. It can be used on almost anything. So go ahead and throw it on your eggs, throw it on your meats, or anything that you like that tomatoey condiment taste to go on. I guarantee you will like this one. All right, salsa, done. Anyone have any questions or comments at this point before I move on to guacamole? I'll check here. Okay, not so far. You guys must all be paying really good attention. And I know Amy's gonna publish the recipes for these again in the comments, and they're also on our Facebook page. All right, so let's move into our guacamole. Okay. So with guacamole, the most important thing, of course, is a really good avocado. You want to make sure that when you buy your avocado, it's not rock hard. You will not be able to mush it down into guacamole. And you also want to make sure that it's not too mushy, because then it's too ripe and that's not going to taste good as well. You kind of want it to have a little bit of give in the fingers, you know, where it feels soft but not completely mushy. And so with this particular recipe, we want to use 3 avocados. And so I'm just going to go ahead and show you how you cut down your avocado here. And you just kind of twist it around. And so what you've done now is you've made 2 halves of the avocado. And so I know there's many ways to get avocado out, and probably way more proper ones than the way I do it. But I just kind of cut it in half and peel it off and throw it in the bowl. So I'm going to do that with all my sides of my avocado. And this one, of course, has the seed in it. And so, again, a lot of people like to hit their knives in it and twist and all that kind of stuff. However you like to get your seed out is perfectly fine with me. I just like to use my finger right here and just kind of take it out. It's just kind of not that hard. So I do that. I'm going to wipe my hands real quickly here. Cut it in half. And again, I'm going to put both halves into my bowl. Now the recipe calls for 3 large avocados. If they're tiny, you might want to go with 4 of the tinier ones. Okay, I am going to show you a little hack, a little kitchen hack. I know these are popular on the cooking shows. So I use this pastry blender, right? Who knows what that's for? Who has a pastry blender? What do you normally do with that? Well, when you're making dough and you're putting in your cold butter into your flour mixture, you're using this, right, to help mix it all into that flour and incorporate it. But I have found that this thing, I've used it for years. I find this thing works phenomenally better than using forks to mush my avocados. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to press down like this, and I'm going to smash my avocados. It's super simple. Now, as far as how fine you want to do this, that's really a matter of taste. Some people really like their avocados to be super chunky in their guacamole. I'm kind of in the middle. I don't like it where it's completely smooth, like it's pureed. I do like to get a little piece of avocado here and there, but I also don't like it super chunky. So this is pretty easy to do. Smack it along the side and you're good to go. So now you have your bowl of mashed avocado. And that's the basis of a great guacamole. is a great avocado. Okay, next we're gonna use cilantro. Okay, let me find my cilantro. Okay, cilantro. Now, I wanna talk a little bit about cilantro. It's one of those ingredients you either love or you hate. To some, I love it, but to some, it just has what they say. They say it tastes like soap. I don't taste that at all, but to some, it does. Cilantro contains this natural compound called aldehyde that can taste unpleasant to some people, not to all. So I would have no idea what someone else is talking about when they say that this tastes like soap. So aldehydes are compounds that are also used in soap making. So it kind of makes sense that people's taste buds would say they taste like soap. So thankfully they don't to me, but if they are something that is unpleasant to you, then go ahead and skip the use of cilantro in your guacamole. So I have finely chopped it, and I'm just adding that into my guacamole. Okay, see, I have a comment here. Pastry blender is great for mashed sweet potatoes. All right, Nancy, see, you're using my hack for other reasons. I'm sure there's other reasons to use that pastry blender. I mean, really, how many of us are making pastry these days? We got to use it for something, right? Okay, our next ingredient with our guacamole is going to be organic tomatoes that are diced. And again, you can dice them as finely or as thick as you'd like to do it. Well, let's add those in to our guacamole. Then we're gonna add diced red onion. And again, if you don't have red onion, you can use any kind of onion that you have. I just happen to think that the flavor of red onion is just really good in Mexican dishes. Then we're gonna add in the juice of a lime. I'm gonna cut that in half, and I'm gonna juice my lime right over the bowl. Right over the bowl. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna add in my sea salt. Again, I'm gonna start with a little less than a teaspoon of sea salt. You can always add more salt in, but you cannot take salt out. So I definitely don't recommend over salting it, or you would have ruined a nice, great bowl of guacamole. And I know, because I've done it before, so I don't recommend you do that at your house. Okay. Now, optionally, if you wanted to add some jalapeno peppers in there, if you like it more spicy, you can add red pepper. You can add jalapeno peppers. I don't really like it super spicy, so that's why I'm not gonna add that in to mine right now. But I also am gonna add in that cumin. I'm gonna go with a teaspoon of cumin. I think that makes a huge difference in what your guacamole tastes like. That's kind of the secret ingredient. Okay, I think I've got it all. So all we do now is we take a little spatula and we kind of flip it all together, mix it up. And it looks great because it has all the beautiful colors of the red and the green and the purple from the red onion. There you go. Now again, why would you buy guacamole from the store when you can make way better guacamole just like this in a few minutes at home with these amazing, fresh, healthy, you know where they came from, meaning healthy, ingredient. Okay, so again with as far as what you want to use to dip, corn chips would be probably everyone's #1 choice, but you can use the same exact dippers that I mentioned for salsa with your guacamole. I actually love to have guacamole with a carrot stick. I think it works great. And the carrot adds a little bit of sweetness to it, so it's just a really good thing to do. But I'm not gonna lie, I do like it with my corn chips sometimes as well. Enjoy your guacamole. Okay, I have a question. Did I get the lime juice? I put the lime juice inside of the guacamole, if that was the question. I'm not exactly sure what the question is. Maybe you can rephrase it for me sometime. But I don't buy lime juice, I always buy fresh limes instead of buying actual lime juice. I do have lime juice always in my refrigerator just in case I'm out of limes, but I will tell you, it is a little bit of a different flavor than if you do have the fresh lime. So I always recommend the fresh lime if you can get that. Okay, the last thing we're gonna make tonight is some nachos with a little bit of a twist. So, you know, many of the ingredients that we can use in Mexican food and even in nachos are healthy whole foods. But I don't know about you, if you've gone to lots of restaurants and ordered nachos, they don't look all that healthy. The things that are dumped onto some corn chips can get pretty unhealthy. So what we want to do is encourage a healthy way to eat nachos. And so we don't want to use all these processed toppings that you find, or some of these really high fat toppings. Tonight we're going to stick with whole foods, and that's why the base of our nacho, instead of using corn chips, is going to be plantain chips. I'm going to grab those. So here I have my platter lined with my plantain chips. Okay, so plantains are a member of the banana family. If you've ever seen them, they definitely resemble a large banana. Plantains are starchier and they're far less sweet than bananas. You would never ever want to peel back a plantain and start eating it like a banana. I guarantee you, you would spit it right out. So they're typically prepared as a savory side dish, especially in many Caribbean dishes, you will find them as a savory side dish. Okay, so let's make these nachos. So what I did to start out with is I took a bag of Trader Joe's. You can buy any brand, of course. I just like the Trader Joe's unsweetened plantain chips. Very important that they're unsweetened. There should be no extra ingredients other than plantains in the package. And so I took them, I put them in a bowl, and I put about 2 tablespoons of avocado oil, and I mixed them up, laid them out on a sheet pan that was lined with parchment paper, and then I put a little bit of salt on top, sea salt, and I baked them in the oven at 400 degrees for 15 minutes. And so what happened is that they turned into this lovely little dark plantain chip, and the flavor of them actually came out a whole lot more. And so it's actually a really good way to even eat your plantain chips in general, but it makes a really great base for your nachos. So we've got a nice base here, right here on the plate. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start putting our toppings on top. And so what I've done is I've sauteed up some red, yellow, and orange bell pepper along with some red onions. And look at how pretty the colors of those are. I wish you could smell it through Facebook, but they smell fantastic. So it was just sauteed in a little bit of avocado oil. And so I'm gonna take those and I'm gonna spread these out nice and evenly along on top of the plantain chips. Okay, just like that. And all I did was saute them for about, I don't know, 4 minutes. Honestly, it wasn't very long before they just need to get soft and aromatic. So now they're laying there on top of my plantain chips. And so the fun part here is that you really can make up your own nachos. You can put on whatever toppings you want. What I'm suggesting is that we stick to some healthy whole food options, and that's what I'm gonna show you tonight. Okay, so we're gonna take toppings. We're gonna put black beans. So what I did is I just purchased a can of organic black beans, and I rinsed them, let them dry. Now I'm putting them as a topping. And again, beans have lots of nutrients. They are a whole food. If you eat them regularly, a lot of people can't tolerate them, and they can cause that inflammatory response based on that. But if you can tolerate them, beans are a very healthy food for you. Okay, next, we're gonna put on some diced tomatoes. And of course I have to dice those before we can put them on. So I'm gonna lay this down here. I've got my tomatoes cut up into slices. So I don't know about you, but I'm a huge Food Network fan, and Ann Burrell, just love her. And so her little mantras are always in my head. And so right now I'm gonna use one of them. Slices, who knows this? Sticks, do the sticks. Okay, I've got my sticks, and now I'm gonna do my dices. Okay, so Ann Burrell, all the time. Slices, sticks, dices. Slices, sticks, dices. I'll let her have that one, but I still like it. So I'm gonna put my tomatoes now. I'm gonna sprinkle my fresh tomatoes all over my nachos. Okay. Yum, look at that so far. Can you see that? That's looking pretty darn good. Okay, I've got a couple comments, I think. I like to use, Pam says, I like to use organic rainbow carrots or jicama to dip in guacamole. Absolutely, oh my gosh. I love the rainbow carrots, love them. Trader Joe's sells them a lot. And then jicama, a great Mexican ingredient. I use it in a Mexican salad that I absolutely love, but as a stick to dip in, you're right, Pam, that's fantastic. Thanks for the tip on that. And then Maureen says, raw beet is great, and plantain chips for dipping in guacamole. I've never tried raw beet as a dipper, but any raw vegetables should work. And if you like beets, then you can't beat it. I'm sorry I said that. That was a bad pun. I never do puns. Okay. And Nancy says she loves guacamole on salad instead of any salad dressing. Absolutely. Again, salsa, guacamole, they can become condiments, and they can be totally dressings on your salad. Okay, what do I have next here? I have cilantro. Again, if you're someone who thinks cilantro tastes like soap, then you're probably not going to want to put the cilantro on your nachos. But I don't think they do. Unfortunately, no one in my family thinks they do. So I'm going to use my knife, and I'm going to do a nice little dice here and slice and mince to my cilantro. I'm going to get it in some small pieces, and then all I'm going to do is just sprinkle it on my nachos. Sprinkle it around. Okay, that's looking really, really, really good. Okay. And then, depending upon your taste, again, my boys love jalapeno peppers, so they would not like it if I didn't put jalapeno peppers on their nachos. And so I will. If you don't like jalapeno peppers, then you don't have to. But all you have to do is just sprinkle those on. And the good thing is that if you really don't like jalapenos and they're on your nachos, you can always just kind of take those off. So I've got my jalapenos spread around. Ooh, that is looking good. I gotta show you what this looks like so far. I mean, is that beautiful? Can you see? That's absolutely beautiful because of all the colors. I've got the reds and the greens and the olive greens and the black and the yellows and the oranges of the peppers. Just looks fantastic. And so now I'm just gonna run to the fridge really quickly for my topping. And I have two more things that I'm gonna put on top. I don't think any nacho could be complete without the use of avocado sprinkled on them. Fresh, diced avocado. Sprinkle that around on top. Again, now we're adding another color, this, you know, yellowy, beautiful yellowy green color to go along with the color of our dark cilantro and our olivey color jalapeno peppers. And lastly, and again, this is optional if you're not doing cheese, I actually bought whole raw milk cheddar cheese and pepper jack. And so I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of that cheese on the top. These are looking good. And again, that's to taste depending on how much you like. Okay, so put this to the side. All right, take a look at that. I don't want to dump it too much so it dumps right off, but I'm hoping you can get a really good view of what that looks like. Isn't that beautiful? I know you want to just jump through that screen and eat it right now. My boys are looking very forward to this Facebook Live because they get a nice snack to eat afterwards. So look how simple that is. Now, if you like, you know, sour cream, you can dollop it with sour cream. You can make a meal out of this by adding rotisserie chicken, or you can do ground beef. So that just turns it actually into not just a snack, but into a meal. See if there's any more comments or questions. I'd be happy to take those for you. I hope that everyone's enjoying it to see how quick and how easy some really good, fresh, whole food Mexican dishes are. We've got our guacamole, we've got our delicious salsa, we've got our nachos, and of course, our margarita. Okay, so I want to thank you all for spending Cinco de Mayo evening with me. I've had a blast doing this. It's been so much fun to share these recipes with you and to hope that you try some new things. And I noticed that just some people are more apprehensive about making some of these things, but I hope that I've just shown you how simple and how easy it can really be. And then I have a question. Where do you get the raw milk cheddar cheese? I purchased it at Trader Joe. I know they sell it. I know Whole Foods sells it. I have seen it at some other grocery stores that I shop at that have like a specialty cheese section. There's other, you can find raw goat milk, raw cow milk. There's all kinds of raw milk cheeses that you can find usually in a specialty cheese area. Good question. Do I deliver? Just call me Grubhub, Pam. Where do you live? Give me your address. Thanks, I appreciate that compliment. I would love to deliver to you if I could. That's sweet. Okay, so thank you so much. We have just had a really great time doing these Facebook Lives to share with our clients, our franchise owners, our friends, our family, and some new people out there who maybe have not experienced the exercise coach yet. We're looking forward to reopening very soon in most of our 80+ cities that we're located in, as well as a whole bunch of new locations. We really hope to get back soon, and we hope that our clients come back soon and are ready to see us, and that new people check us out as well. And so this coming Saturday, we are having another Facebook Live at 11 o'clock. Brian Cygan, my husband, CEO, will be doing the Facebook Live, and it's going to be really fun because it's with a client panel. We have 4 clients who are with the exercise coach who have wonderful testimonials to share, and Brian's going to be talking about it to them. And so I would love for you to join us and listen to their stories of inspiration and things they've overcome and really where they're at today, that many of them attribute to the work that they've put in both with their nutrition and with the help of the exercise coach with their workouts. So I'm excited also to see that panel, and I'm hoping that you'll all join us at 11 o'clock as well. So without further ado, happy Cinco de Mayo. I'll see you next time.